All right, all of this starts with King Henry VIII, who suppressed the monasteries, got rid of the monks. Then we got to Elizabeth's reign, and she wanted to have a national church, so therefore Catholics weren't acceptable and they were put in prison. So this is when the secret times began, and we had these spies around. So we had to be very careful, and Catholics had to be very careful how they lived, and they were in secret. So we're going to go around now, and I'm going to show you now the history of this house.
Well, it was very important because the story of Mary Ward is very important, essential if you want to understand the education of women and how we've got to where we are today. In some ways, I considered her the first feminist. And there was a lot of very good material here, but it was presented in an unappealing way to contemporary eyes, and it was essential that we ensured that the Bar Convent and the work of Mary Ward remains relevant and continues to attract as many visitors as it can.
Now this is a very interesting part of the Heritage Centre. You just turn the handle round, and we now have the history of the whole house, beginning with Frances Bedingfield buying the house, this hidden house where she opened a school, and there's been a school and community on the site since 1686. And we have all this interaction with the weather and transport and everything. So
it's wonderful.
Yeah. Do you know, it's amazing. We have so many people in York, and they say, I've lived in York all my life and I've never been to the Bar Convent. And they're just astounded. And this is what we want to do. We want to attract, first of all, the people of York, North Yorkshire, the entire country of England, and then the wider world.
I'm very impressed both at the exhibition, the improved accessibility, which in our world of today is so important, and also in the fabulous guest bedrooms that have been transformed and that I think provide a very good basis to explore York now.
Are you going to do a hotel inspector here?
I don't think there's enough for me to criticise, and I don't say that very often.